Hello, welcome back to the Beatdown Bandits podcast, season two premiere. So very, very, very excited for this. I am Colin, and in today's podcast is going to be a little different. So, full disclosure, I actually just recorded this podcast, season two, episode 1 premiere, and I was like halfway through it, and I'm like, this is just not good enough. Like it's a fine episode, but like I wanted something different and fun and cool for the season 2 premiere. So I finished it and I'm like, this. So I literally saved the file of of it as maybe. So I will put that one later. I'm gonna have to re-record it because I said season 2 premiere. So I will save that for down the road sometime, so I'm not going to give any spoilers of what it is. It's cool, but not quite good enough. So I was kind of debating about what I wanted to do when kind of out of the blue, my friend Kamiyo, who has been mentioned on this channel before, sort of been on some of my videos before on YouTube. He actually asked, he's like, hey, would you have any interest in me jumping onto that podcast? I'm like, yes, perfect. So today's podcast is going to be an interview with Kamiyo. So we're going to get to that in a moment. It's sort of a sort of an interview with Kamiyo and a little bit just kind of a discussion. So I've got some topics to kind of go through and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna jump right over to that and let you guys listen to that interview. So thanks for jumping in. And again, welcome to the season 2 premiere of the Beatdown Bandits podcast. Let's get to it. All right, so everyone, this is Kamiyo. So a very huge welcome to Kamiyo. So he has been on my channel once or twice. I don't think a voice has ever been. It's only been robot voice so far.
Yeah,
Kamiyo,
and
which
that's my natural voice.
Right. Yeah. So right now he's going through a soundboard of somebody else. This is not actual Kamiyo's voice. It's somebody else we don't know. Kamiyo actually speaks with the fake Pathfinder voice. But Kamiyo also has a YouTube channel, which is freaking hilarious, by the way. So it's extremely entertaining. Even the games that I don't play or not a big fan of, like League of Legends or whatever, like not a big fan of, hilarious still. Like it doesn't drag me into it, but it's still very funny. So again, like make sure you go check out Kamiyo's channel if you haven't already. But yeah, it's very entertaining, and you actually have talent and skill, which I am not blessed with.
Oh yeah, no.
I am okay. I consider myself very average. Is kind of how I consider myself. So I try to do stupid stuff to make it at least entertaining a lot. So yeah. So anyway, I wanted to kind of first start by asking, and which is usually very, I don't know, kind of a question I want to ask a lot of YouTubers is like, what kind of made you kind of want to do it and get into it? And so kind of how'd you start your YouTube life, I guess?
Getting straight to the big questions.
The big question.
No, but first of all, before I start, I have to say, no, I don't think you're average. I think just the main difference that I just can spend more time to make a video, which unfortunately most of the time, as you said, you can't. So I just think this is the difference. But that doesn't mean that your stuff is bad or anything. That's not what I'm saying.
That is true. I can only play like twice a week games or whatever, so that may hinder me a little bit. So I'm always constantly rusty. So that doesn't help.
So now to get to the question, why did I start or how did I start? It actually started a couple of years ago with a channel also called Kamiyo, but instead it was only in German. Why did I start there? I guess I just thought to myself, well, I'm playing anyway, so why not record it? Because at least I envisioned myself always as a dream job to do something about games. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, I just wanted to try it. And therefore, I did the channel in German. Unfortunately, it didn't go so well because nobody really watched my stuff. I mean, still to this day, not really many people are watching. But
I know the struggles.
Yes. But therefore, then I think 2 years ago I started then again over again and started the English channel or an English YouTube gaming channel. So far it's getting better, I guess, but I'm still struggling a lot. At first, the biggest struggle was actually the language barrier, which I'm getting kind of better, I guess, but still got my problems with it. But yeah, that's the origins of Kamiyo, I would say, something around that.
So when did you start your like first channel?
Oh, I think it was back at around 2017. I'm not entirely sure. Might be something around it. I could
Okay.
actually look it up if you want, but
And your current one, you just started that in like 20. You like started like 2018.
yeah, and the thing is, oh sorry, I just had my game still open. So this channel actually I started in 2018, I think,
Okay.
but then I actually made a break for almost half a year or year because I moved with my girlfriend together, and therefore I really hadn't time because I also didn't have my PC with me, which was kind of fortunate, and so therefore I stopped, and then I started again at around February 2019.
Okay.
In 19 years is when actually almost 1 week before I think Apex actually came out, which
Yeah, because that was
I,
February. So yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so
so
probably right about that.
I started around there again, and since there I'm obsessed with Apex.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's it. So
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know I took like a year off. I started in 2014-ish, something like that, like summer 2014,
oh whoa,
and went
that's
like maybe 6 months, and then I took like a year off. Like I had changed jobs and changed roles, and it was a struggle. So
yeah.
yeah, took a little bit of a break, and then came back, and I've been doing my best at least like the last 2 years for like putting out like as close as I can to like daily videos. That is a
That's
nightmare,
crazy. Yeah,
and
that's crazy. That's crazy.
yeah, and like sometimes it's a struggle because like I'll record something, like I'll record like 4 hours. I'm like, there's just no content.
Yes, I yes, I can totally feel you.
So yeah, that is the struggle. So sometimes like I'm awake at like 2 a.m. like working on a video.
Mm.
Like, okay, I got to get up in 4 hours. So
Oh
should
shit.
have this video done at like 4.
Oh man.
So yeah, those are the daily video struggles, especially when you have very little content. You
Mm.
piece together what you can,
Yeah.
and yeah. So I'm not blessed with all the time in the world, but yeah, it's maybe I should go away from that. I think I talked with you about that once. Like I should maybe go away from the dailies and do like weekly or bi-weekly, like 2-3 videos a week, something like that.
Mm.
It would probably be better. But oh well.
That's hard to tell. I guess the biggest problem is just that we all struggle with, at least in the gaming area, that it's so overcrowded.
Yeah.
I didn't at first. I didn't believe it but it seems to be it because a couple of days ago I posted just a little clip on Reddit about the Marvin thing. So just pretend to be a Marvin.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I didn't know this first came from a YouTube channel or YouTuber who's called Beanbag.
Okay.
I didn't know that guy, and so I mean, that's the thing. He had almost over 70K subscribers, and
Okay.
I still didn't know him. So that's just an example how many people there are, and so many that you don't know of.
Yeah.
So I guess that's just the biggest struggle.
Yeah, and so what's so funny is the whole Marvin challenge. So that was one of my favorite challenges you did because it's so simple. And
Yeah.
like some of the challenges you do are like, I'm gonna do something so stupid and dumb and then win the game. I'm like, I can't do that. My challenge is win a game. so so doing something insane and they're like the floor is lava. Like I'm gonna win this game without touching the ground. Dude, I can't do that. But the Marvin challenge is like, oh, I can lose constantly and just have fun. Like that's something
Yes.
that's up more my alley, like something I would like.
Mm.
So I did that, and I'm like, okay, I got to do this for fun,
Mm.
and gave you a shout out on there. So I kid you not, yesterday, Zeus put out a Marvin challenge video. You know
Oh,
who
really?
Zeus is?
I think I heard the name before, but I'm
Okay,
not
so
entirely
yeah,
sure.
Zeus is like the #1 like Australian YouTuber or something like
Oh,
that, and he does a lot of Apex content. And so actually, I think he exclusively does Apex content now, but
oh.
he's one of the top ranked like Australians, and yeah, so blew
Oh.
both of ours out the water. Like, but
Crazy.
you know, he's the last one to do it, and it's the most popular.
Yeah,
So
I mean
it's
that's always the
unfortunate.
thing. Unfortunately, that is the case, but yeah,
And
that's
I saw somebody, I'm like, I was trying to check names of like who the guy killed, but I did see, as you mentioned, Reddit, like somebody posted a video on Reddit the other day that they walked into that same room and scared the crap out of him. And he was just busting up laughing. And somebody was just standing there as a regular Pathfinder. And he, of course, he killed the guy. I'm like, wonder if that was somebody I know. And it wasn't. But. So that challenge has taken off.
yeah,
So,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's pretty
really.
funny.
I
All right.
mean,
So go ahead.
sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. But what I wanted to say is, I mean, now it could be actually a funny thing or a funny video. Just, I think that's what you just said or mentioned. Like, and now get in there always and see if somebody is trying to do this, and then just just fool them around.
Yeah. It's so funny now because like now I'm paranoid. Every time I go in that room, I peek. So like I'm waiting for somebody to do that. So yeah, it's funny. I don't think I've seen anybody. Of course, I very well could have just walked right by and had no idea, but I look every time now for sure. It's such an
But
easy
that's the
thing to
thing,
miss.
like you said before, because I also think just stuff like this is way more funnier than just trying to do any challenges. At least in
Mhm.
my opinion, this is. I just before we started the call, I actually tried against something new, which also kind of worked. It was also, I think, at least in my opinion, it's kind of hilarious, and I say kind of a little bit too often, but it's kind of okay, I guess.
Okay, so
But
stay tuned right there. You got upcoming
yeah,
video.
sorry for that little promotion.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Promote away. I'm all for it.
Uh,
So that's
um,
very cool. So kind of on a related thing. So, what is your current opinion of the current like Fight Night Town Takeover and the whatever the event is called that they're doing with the care package drops?
I guess so far it's actually pretty fun. Um, and I mean, it's the first time they actually force people to be part of the event because it's
Yeah.
just part of the normal game. I mean, that's something new, but it's not really. It doesn't feel bad for me because I, I think it's actually fun and mixing up the game a little bit more than if just playing normal. And I mean, if you still want to play serious, you just still can play ranked.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
what is also pretty fun is the ring. That's something new. That what is, I guess that's what I enjoyed most, because I mean it's just fun to step into the ring and just knock out people or whatever. But yeah,
And you
that's
have the Pathfinder heirloom, so you got
yes,
the boxing gloves, which makes just adds a little bit of spice to it.
yes,
So
yes, yes. I think so too. That was
yeah.
just my luck, I guess.
What was your favorite LTM that Apex has had?
Mm, I actually, I think I would go with the third party
Okay.
limited time mode. I think
Okay.
so because it was something completely new for me, but maybe I'm just forgetting some LTMs. I'm not so sure, but this was actually that was the fun one. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and see what's so funny. So yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday of like what was my favorite LTM, and I think a lot of people would say like the Winter Express, which is a very popular
Okay.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also pretty good.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like it. My problem with the Winter Express is like I got tired of it real quick.
Mm.
Especially like if you're playing with randoms, like so many like they die the first time. I don't know if
Mm.
they just don't know. Like you instantly respawn, calm down, but then they leave the game and trying to fight those and take over with like one or two people is not super easy.
No.
um, so yeah, fighting outnumbered is not a good idea.
No.
At least for me. Um, so yeah, it's fun for I think a couple days. But yeah, I'm with you on the third party. I think the third party one was one of my favorites. It's I don't think it was a favorite of most people. I think most people actually disliked it. I know the aim was a little weird, and like trying to
Yes,
loot
yes.
was weird. Like you had to loot the item next to something if you wanted to pick it up, and so the looting was a little weird. So it was kind of broken, but I'm pretty sure I won. Like I probably paid like 10 games of the third party and won like 4 of them. So it's like please keep this. Like
I'm still
I'm slaughtering people in third party mode, but
I'm finally winning. Please keep it.
exactly. And I don't know, something about it, like I was just obliterating people, and so it worked really well for me. The dummies big day was fun.
That was also pretty fun. Yes.
What was the and like the first time the armed and dangerous came around, like I was kind of nervous because like I usually don't pick up shotguns and snipers super often. But then the second time it came around, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna try it. And then it was like, oh my god, these are really fun guns. So now I'm like, I'm constantly picking up a lot of that stuff. So yeah, so it's it's much better now. But the armed and dangerous is pretty good. I'm trying to think what else was like in the Grand Soiree.
Sorry, that's
There was the dummies big day. There was the third party, the gold rush,
ones, yeah.
the gold rush. Just okay. A lot of gold guns.
I mean, what I still remember, what was also pretty great or pretty fun, the first Halloween event.
The first, yeah.
It was actually pretty fun.
What did you like more? I think I talked to you about this. What was which one did you like more, the first or the second Halloween?
I think I like the first one way more.
The first one was more terrifying.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
This is because the second one was more about action, I think, but the first one was really, like I said before, a little bit more terrifying, a little bit more of a Halloween feeling, I guess.
Yeah, especially if you were like way outnumbered.
Yes.
That was intimidating. The nice thing about the second one was it kept people involved.
Yeah,
like
true.
I remember the first one, like it was like me and like 3 other of the the shadows or whatever. It's like, how are we supposed to fight? Like we got obliterated. Everybody quit. So it's frustrating. Oh well. Okay, again, so yeah, third party. Yeah, I like it. Third person.
Third person, yes. But I think what was fun with the third person mode was, at least from a content creator perspective, you had a little bit more opportunity to do, I don't know, fun stuff. Maybe because the characters are moving weird or something. So, or just zoom on, I don't know, Gibraltar's buttocks. You know?
That is true. Yeah, you gotta check that out. Yeah, well, and that's true because you can like actually see your skin. Like you don't really get to see your own skins that you choose that you like. It's like, oh yeah, that's my favorite skin, but you don't see it.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, last kind of, well, sort of related question is, so who in your opinion, which of the legends needs a buff and who needs a nerf?
Well, I guess I go with the masses and say that Caustic needs, or no, he didn't get the nerf, right?
He didn't get a buff or nerf. He was kept the same.
Okay. But which legends should get a nerf? Maybe Gibraltar, because I don't know, they buffed him nearly every season, but so far they haven't nerfed him, if I'm correct. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I would actually go with Gibraltar, because I remember a couple of times when I just fighting this big guy, and I mean, you're breaking his shield, and you are already down. I mean, his freaking. I mean, how do you call it? His barrier?
The gun shield.
Yeah, the gun shield. This is so annoying because it's so strong. I think it actually absorbs 100 damage.
They did change it a little bit now. So I think that's a plus. Is like, you know, so you could Kraber him, and it does no damage. It's like, broken the shield with a flipping Kraber. But now he does absorb the additional damage. So that is beneficial.
Okay. So
yeah, so they nerfed his gun shield a little bit this season, or this last patch, I guess.
And then the only thing that I know what still annoys me to this day is just, I guess, the caustic gas. Just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just annoying that it slows you, it blinds you, it did I already say slows you? I'm not so
Yeah.
sure, but I mean it's so annoying and it holds on so long. And also when he is throwing his ultimate goes for, I don't know, 20 seconds, 10 to
Yeah.
20 seconds. That's so long. And I mean, it's kind of annoying, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I watched a video recently about a guy who solo queued to master using only caustic, and he said he would literally wait for his teammates to die so he could level, or so he could continue to progress. He's like, oh, I can do it solo, with teammates, and then let them die on purpose, and then continue to solo. He's like, you get 2 ultimate accelerants, and then find a building, and you can easily get points.
Yeah.
He's like, you 2-3 barrels out, you find the right building with only like 2 doors or 3 doors. Like, man, game over. Like, I can survive here. It's going to take them at least a minute to 2 minutes to get in. And then by then a third party has come. And then while they're fighting, I'm getting more gas barrels out, and I've used an ultimate accelerant. I'm ready to take these guys on. So yeah, he literally mastered solo with caustic. It's
That's
sick.
crazy.
Yeah, the only time like I enjoy playing caustic, I usually only go to him when I died from a caustic and I get pissed off, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going caustic now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just the same thing as with the mastiff. If you're getting mastiff, you are pretty angry and annoyed. But
Yeah.
if you're doing it yourself, it kind of feels fine.
Yeah, it was the same like season 1, season 2, like Peacekeepers, where it's like I could never hit those shots, and then somebody would Peacekeeper me for 150 in the head, and it's like, oh my god, like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was good the day that they put that into the care package, but Mastiff isn't quite the same as what the Peacekeeper was doing, but yeah, it felt wrong. I hated Peacekeepers.
That's the least to say. Yeah. So, and
yeah,
what is for you the champion that needs a buff?
Enough.
A buff. Sorry, a buff.
Well, the nerf. I'm with you on the Gibraltar probably. Because like I was talking about this back in probably season 1, is when somebody would pick Gibraltar. My friend Matt and I would always say, "Oh, Gibraltar is the Mozambiques of legends." It's like just the worst legend possible, and then it was like a buff. It's like, oh, okay, he's not too bad, and then another buff, and then another buff. It's like, what is happening? Why do they want to make Gibraltar of all people the god? Like, he was literally the worst legend at the start, and now he's the best. So yeah, I'm okay with still like a minor nerf to him. He's still the worst to fight 1-on-1 because of the fortified and the gun shield. It's still the hardest. A minor nerf right now to caustic would probably be okay, like just less time on his gas maybe. I would be perfectly fine with. I mean, I think that's fair. Just like a little bit less time. Yeah. Buffs, the obvious seems to be like Rampart, who is still, in my opinion, like the worst possible legend.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe giving like her turret like a 360 so she can spin all directions and not. I mean, that would be a pretty easy buff, I think. I don't know. The gun shields are not amazing for her, or the walls that she builds are not great, but they're okay. Maybe like even faster builds on them so they can't just instantly get shot one time and blow up. I know they sped it up a little bit, but maybe even more. I think she might be okay. She's never going to be in like the a pro player type of thing, like an ALGS, but most aren't. There's only like 5 or 6 legends that are ever picked anyway. So
yeah, I guess the problem is just with Rampart, also with the ultimate with Sheila. I guess in a game like Apex, it's not a good idea to get on a turret where you're just standing still and you are such an easy target. Maybe that's really, at least for me, the biggest problem with her. But also, I don't really think that she's so much fun to play. So I guess in my opinion, I don't know, they maybe need to do something like a rework to
Yeah.
make her fun or available again. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I feel like with like Watson right now. Like Watson's always
Mm.
been one of my favorites. I love her personality. And I used to like her stuff, but now it's like just doesn't seem super useful. And I know, like, I listened to an interview from one of the devs who talked about Watson, and it's like, oh, so Watson's such a high pick and useful in pro leagues that like any tweak to her would like cause major problems. But then it's like you watch the pro leagues, like the last ones from the fall, and she was barely picked. I think
Mm.
like one team in the at least like the European finals or whatever had her. Maybe 2 or 3 teams is like, Gibraltar has taken over for that, and now Crypto and Bloodhound, and so Watson's not even picked in pro leagues right now. So it's unfortunate, but I think she probably needs a rework as well.
Yes, I do have to agree because I mean, at least as you also already mentioned, I think when the season and the season after she released, all I mean, also the complete competitive meter just turned to be a little bit too campy because all
Yeah,
guys just picked Watson and maybe even Caustic and just camped inside of
yeah,
a house. Inside of a house and just waited.
yeah.
I mean, but so far, I mean, right now she is also not really usable. I mean, I guess Olympus is just too open, just
Open.
to
Yeah.
be useful, and therefore she doesn't really make sense. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to tweak her. Like maybe like give her back like where she could have like 3 ultimates, and put them on a timer. I mean, she can do that now, but like honestly, like you can't pop the accelerants fast enough and put them in different places. I don't know. It's like a total rebuild at this point. I think with her, defenses like got a minor like a 5-point boost on damage, but that's not enough.
yeah,
I mean, teams still aren't like you can easily push a Watson by herself in a building. Like if you got 2 or 3 people, just run through the wall. It doesn't matter, or run through her
yeah,
fence. Like it doesn't matter. If it made it more deadly to run through, like a caustic gas type of situation, then it would probably be a little more viable.
yeah.
Oh well. So why Apex? What made you obsessed with Apex when that came out?
That's a good question. um, I don't. I actually don't know. The first time I played it, it was such a blast for me. It was so much fun, even though I wasn't really good, and I mean, I'm still not really good. But
Oh,
it,
you
it
got 20 bombs and 4Ks. Let's call a spade a spade.
well, I guess it was just a lucky game, but
Yeah, I'm sure.
um, but I don't know. I mean, before that, I started to play sometimes Fortnite, but I have to be honest. Whenever I played Fortnite, or whenever I play, or whenever I'm going to play it again, I'm not the building type. So
Yeah.
whenever I played, I never built something because it was just an annoying part. I always said stuff like, if they get rid of all the building stuff, then maybe I will play it again. But I guess a lot of people hate me for saying this, but I don't know. I just don't like the building stuff, the building part of the game. And before that, yeah, I guess I was always just a FPS shooter guy. Before that, I played, I think, for 1 or 2 years, Overwatch, and I didn't even. I guess it was before I even started YouTube. There was also a lot of fun for me playing always Hanzo, trying to get that juicy headshots with the bow.
Nice.
But so far, yes. But why Apex? Hmm. I actually I really cannot tell you. It's just so much fun for me. It's just the whole gameplay. It's hard for me to explain why it's just a blast for me. But it's hard
Yeah.
for me to explain.
Yeah, I mean, like when Fortnite came out, like I wasn't like I definitely played it, but I was not a huge fan. And like you, like I didn't like the build, and plus I wasn't fast at it. Like
Hmm.
I'd go up against a person, I'd turn my back and turn around. He's got like a whole like 5-star hotel built in front of me. I'm like, wait, where is he? And then he snipes me from, 20 stories up. I was like, what the hell just happened?
Doesn't feel good, I know.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do that. But then, like, I'll watch these like little kids play. Like, here's an 11-year-old, building
Yeah.
skyscrapers. Like, what the heck? So yeah, that became obnoxious to me. But I liked the battle royale idea
Yes.
and like how fun it was, and like best man standing wins type of situation. And then like I like the team aspect, I think, of Apex too. I wasn't a big fan of solos. I know like when the solo mode dropped, like
Yes.
one, like I wasn't great at the time. I mean, again, not great now, but like I was definitely much worse then, and it became like a little campy for me. And like I'd find corners to hide and just try to third party every little thing I possibly could. That's the only way I played solo. Like I wasn't pushing stuff as much as what I should. Like I would now. If solo dropped now, like I'd be a lot more aggressive with it. But back then, I was like, I'm just gonna hide in this corner until I see somebody try to shoot him in the back. But no. So like prior to like battle royales dropping, I played a lot of like Rainbow Six, and all the people in Rainbow Six had like different abilities. And so I love that aspect. It's like, so it's not everybody is the exact same like Fortnite. Like,
Yes.
you can be the best player in the world on Fortnite and not have put anything into like no, not have to drop a thing. Everybody is the exact same ability, like the characters themselves. But like Rainbow Six, everybody's got different things that they can do and add to a team. And so I liked that aspect. So to me, Apex was adding Rainbow Six into Fortnite. And like that was like, to me, seemed like such a great idea. It was like battle royale with abilities, and trying to find that perfect like combination of which legends really work well together. And I really liked that. That's kind of what kept me to it. And then the movement, I think, was the other big aspect. Like it's just incomparable to like anything else. I don't know any other game where the movement is just quite the same and as smooth and as fast, I guess.
Yes.
So I mean that was a biggie for me. It's just how fast everything can go.
I think this is the perfect explanation, which also fits with me because I mean, did you ever play Overwatch? I guess
I did not. No.
Okay,
I'm very aware of Overwatch, but I didn't play it.
But now that you just explained all the stuff, it kind of makes perfectly sense that I like Apex now so much because basically Overwatch is just a team shooter with abilities. Like in Apex, you have 2 normal abilities and 1 ultimate, and then you just try to play together as a team. Yeah. And that hooked me back then, and I guess that's also why I like the battle royale and that's why I liked Apex so much. And because it's a battle royale, like you just said before, this makes it a little bit more fun. Because what I forgot about to tell you is that before I even played Overwatch, after I played Overwatch, PUBG was a big thing back then, and I played it a lot, and that just Apex just felt like the next level for this. I don't know.
Yeah, so I started playing PUBG like a year ago, and it feels like garbage.
Yes.
I remember it being so popular, so I had installed it, and I just sat on it forever. So I'm like, well, I've got Apex, and then like Call of Duty Warzone came out, and I'm like, this is fun. And then about a year ago, I played PUBG for the first time. Played it for about 15 minutes. I'm like, I'm good. It's just, I know it was like way ahead of its time.
Yes.
But going back to it now, it's just not this. It doesn't quite hold up.
You probably started in this wrong sequence. You should have started with PUBG.
Yeah, if I started with PUBG, I would probably have that nostalgic aspect for PUBG about how, because there's tons of people who still play it.
Well, and, I mean, don't get me wrong, PUBG was great, but it was also often so bad because it was just you kind of felt that it wasn't really a AAA game. It was just, I don't know, you kind of felt that it was an indie game because there were so many bugs and all the stuff didn't feel so fluently, and I don't know.
Yeah, even just like watching like YouTube videos on PUBG, you're like, I don't know if I wanna play this. I mean, it's bizarre. Yeah, the graphics I don't feel like even hold up. Like it's just kind of boxy looking, kind of
Mm.
pixelated.
But to be fair, it was the first battle royale. I know it was the first game that hooked me to the battle royale thing.
Yeah, I
That
think
was
most people
so.
probably feel that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people who just disliked Fortnite. I think a lot of
Agreed.
Apex players came from Fortnite, but yeah, Fortnite was not for me. Today I would probably rather play PUBG than Fortnite, to be honest. Plus, if I were to jump into Fortnite right now, it would probably not be so good. All these 10 and 11-year-olds just building cities around me. I'm just running on the ground getting sniped. Yeah.
But in all honesty, at least what was always for me a fun part about Fortnite was actually that it had a complete replay mode. So if you
Hmm?
were doing creative stuff, this is so much fun. So you just can do the stupidest stuff, the stupid man, help me out. Stupid.
You can just do stupid stuff.
Stupid stuff. But I mean, I imagine I once did there was an event about Max, and just playing with the Max was fine. But I kind of tried to make to make a little movie out of it, and that is such a fun part, and I'm missing that I'm missing in Apex so much. It would be so crazy to have such a replay mode in Apex, because you could do such crazy stuff and good stuff with it.
You're talking like a mode where you can just bring in your friends.
Oh no! The thing is, you just play a normal game, and afterwards you can get a replay. But it's just like a new mode where you can enter the whole map, get a free camera, and just
so watch your
around.
game over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is really crazy, and this
that's cool.
is so much fun to doing stuff with this.
That's the thing in Fortnite.
Yeah.
I didn't know that exists. Okay, that's pretty cool. I would love. I mean, that sounds even more awesome. But I would actually love where you could set up your own servers basically in Apex.
Oh yeah,
and private lobbies awesome, and stuff like that. That to me, one like I have a friend that I play with a lot that just doesn't play super I mean, he plays about the same. I mean, he plays about half of what I do. He plays about the same amount of times a week. But he's just not anywhere near as good because I take it a little more serious than he does. And but that would be great for him to go in and where we could 1v1 basically in the actual map, and he could learn the maps a little better and where locations are and how to rotate. That's great for new people or people who are just trying to learn and get better. Sadly, that's not a thing.
Not really, no. But I mean, it would just also be fun just to do dumb stuff. Then, for example, I always had the idea for Olympus just to do something like a track where you just race with the Trident, but you can't. I mean, you can't do stuff like that in a real game. It's not possible. So therefore,
somebody's gonna shoot at you. Yes. And with the ring closing, it would be cool if you could set when the rings close, and it's okay, well, no ring closure, and it's just an open map, and you get to be in there for an hour or whatever before it resets.
I mean, you could do so much dumb stuff. That would be really funny.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, if they gave that ability, just like I feel like the pro leagues would be even better because they would have all this time to find every rat spot possible. I've watched every second of the ALGS tournaments. I'm guessing you probably have too.
Sometimes, but not always, to be honest.
Yeah, I usually don't watch them live. Sometimes I will. But I usually just save the YouTube videos I'll watch later, and then I'll just watch it on some Saturday, and it's amazing. I didn't even know that was a spot. They know every little crevice and every little rock and how to climb, and it's amazing how they do that and find that in game, without having without having like a free mode event where they can just
Yeah.
run in and find those things. Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing which I didn't understand. I mean, the idea was cool when Olympus launched. You had the LTM where you just could walk around the map and just take a look.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand why did they put the ring closure in it.
Right.
So that was so weird. I didn't understand it.
I mean, and I thought the same thing. I was like, it would be nice if we could just explore this until we wanted to get out. The only thing I thought of is like they could be putting that in there so people learn where the rings close on that map.
Oh, yeah, that could be actually true. Yes.
So that was my rationale of like why they would choose to do that is so, people who take, ranked and pros, they take it seriously. They could jump in there for a day and just look at all the rings and jot those down and figure out every ring location where they want to be, things like that. So, but yeah, I don't see why that's not always like a thing. Just kind of keep that around or whatever. But oh well, we know it's possible because they did this. So we know they can have like little passive lobbies where you can't shoot your teammates and stuff. So it is possible, I think, but I don't know. I know their servers aren't amazing, so that might be a whole nother reason. Okay, so let's move on from Apex. So yeah, I kind of gave you a couple questions in advance of, and these were like topics that I wanted to use in future podcasts. I'm like, let's just use these today. So get a little bit more out of Kamiyo. And so the first question and something like really hit home with me the other day, and I'll get into it after you kind of give your answers, is games like you remember beating and like either like super disappointed about or loved or best ending of a game, whatever. So I guess as far back as you want or recent games, whatever. So yeah, talk to me about endings of games or games you beat.
What at first immediately comes to my mind is it's not that long ago. What kind of hit me a little bit emotional.
Okay.
I think so because it was The Witcher 3. Did you play it?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I never beat it though.
Okay.
I did play it.
You got to beat it. It's
okay.
So good.
Okay.
But that ending was already great. But then I played the last DLC, Blood and Wine.
Okay.
And the ending, I don't want to spoil it too much, but he kind of broke the fourth wall and just it hit me kind of personal, and I thought like, oh my god, this is so great. But that was one of the best gaming moments for me, I would say. And if I want to go farther back, I guess what was also pretty insane back then, what Fates, it had so much atmosphere. Do you remember Modern Warfare 2, I guess? Yes.
Yeah.
And the campaign, oh man, it was so good.
Yes.
I still remember the mission where you had to go into the White House.
Yeah.
And you had to be quick because they wanted to throw bombs on it, I think. But man, the atmosphere in this mission, it's so great. All the music and there was
the story modes on the Modern Warfare were amazing, and
yes,
that was why they were definitely very popular. It was such a good story. Yeah, very true. Okay, so I just started putting something out onto my YouTube channel. It was the game called A Way Out, and I put a couple. Have you ever played that?
No, but I know what it's about.
Okay, all right. So when it first came out, like maybe 2 years ago, it's like I think it was like 2018 when it came out. I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. So I started playing it with a friend, and we never got around to finishing it. We got maybe a third of the way through, and like just never got around to finishing it. And so I'm like, I have got to play this. Like, this has been sitting on my list to play. I want to go back and finish it. So played it all the way from beginning to end again with a friend. And the ending was so amazing and shocking. And I did not expect it. It's just you got to work as a co-op. If anybody who's not aware, it's a co-op game. So you have to play 2-player. You can play with a friend on a couch, or you can play online with somebody from wherever. And you basically have to break out of prison together, and that's kind of the concept. But there's a whole storyline of why you have to break out of prison, and when you break out of prison, what you have to do together. And so it's very cool. There's a lot of cool things you can do. But yeah, the ending was pretty shocking. So if you've never done it or never played it, I definitely highly recommend it. It's fun to also like it's just a cool little bonding thing. Although you can definitely get frustrated with somebody who doesn't quite know what they're doing. Not quite as fast on the draw, I guess, by hitting buttons, but like, okay, we got to replay this again. Okay, you died again. We got to do it again.
I mean, yeah,
but it adds to
cool.
the experience. It's fun. But that one I highly recommend. But the ones I think that like you said were like emotional, or ones that you're like tied into, fairly recent. And I think to me, like Rockstar Games does this probably better than anybody. Is the story modes. So like Red Dead Redemption or the GTA games. To me, those have been like super amazing. And then not quite as recent, but like the first whole storyline of Assassin's Creed.
That was also pretty
to
good,
me,
yes.
like I loved Ezio.
Yes.
So much to the point that it did like even like my son, who's now 13, but at the time, would have been like 6 or 7, like when Ezio was out. For Halloween, we made him an Ezio costume. But
yes.
He was so
really cool.
awesome. Yeah, I'll see if I can dig up a picture and just like throw it into the podcast right here. But it was pretty cool. And but yeah, that whole storyline, and like, well, what was the last one? Revelations wasn't a great game. The ending was very cool and kind of emotional, like the whole tie back into all of them. It was such a good storyline. And then post Ezio, the games were good, but the storylines I thought kind of were meh.
I think what always confused me about Assassin's Creed, about the story plot, was I don't know and I don't understand why they finished Desmond, like, and it's over with Desmond. I never understand why they did this. And it almost seemed like, I think in the game after Desmond died.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, spoiler.
I mean, it's been like a decade, so I think we're okay.
But I think in Black Flag, but I'm not so sure, there was something. So when you were not in the how do you call this machine again?
Yeah, the Animus.
Yes. So there was some kind of a poster with a rising phoenix on it, and I always felt like, oh my god, Desmond is coming back. And so far he hasn't really returned, so I don't know if this really will happen.
No, I mean, yeah, that was kind of a disappointment, because like Assassin's Creed, they could have done without the whole modern day thing, and it would have been perfectly fine. So it was a cool, unique tie-in, and you kind of get tied in with Desmond too, with that whole storyline.
The build-up was just so great for Desmond to becoming a real assassin, and then just like quit, and it's over.
It's like, he's finally starting to become like a badass, rather than just like, who's this idiot that we're playing as at the beginning? And it was kind of a disappointment. But I mean, Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, in my opinion, were also very good. I did just get Valhalla, but I have not played it yet. It does look pretty badass, so definitely have to give that a shot. But yeah, those are, to me, those are very good, storylines. I guess I like open world games. To me, where you have a lot of freedom, tend to be a lot better. Or maybe you just get more emotionally attached because of the bigger storylines or something, I guess. I don't know.
I think, if it's okay, I want to go again a second back to The Witcher 3, because it kind of fits here because of the bonding and all the stuff you just said. I guess it was just so emotionally for me, because, I mean, I played the first game. I touched the first game. No, sorry. I touched the first game barely, but I completely played the second game. And the third game was just a blessing for me. Mm-hmm. And then the thing is, just when you're spending so much time in a game, maybe like you just said in Red Dead Redemption 2, you're getting really some kind of a bonding with a character. And then this ending was so great because, I don't want to spoil it. So if you want, if you don't know what I'm talking about, play The Witcher 3. Um, but yeah, that's just it's great. I love this game.
Did you play Red Dead?
And that's the thing. I never played a Red Dead game before.
Okay.
And also, I don't know. Sometimes the Rockstar games haven't really clicked with me. I don't know why. I played GTA 3, and
Okay.
it was so much fun back then.
Mhm.
But since then, I really no. I still played San Andreas.
Okay.
That was also pretty cool. But so far, I think I touched GTA 5 for half an hour and then quit. But I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, it's a really good story. I mean, for me, the like Red Dead Online is pretty bad. GTA 5 story is not quite as good as Red Dead story. I mean, I think it's worth playing Red Dead, like the story mode. To me, like my friends play the online, they love the online. To me, it's kind of garbage. Which, whatever, it is what it is. But for GTA, the GTA story mode isn't as great, but the online is a lot of fun. There's just so many options and things you can do, I think.
And the thing is, if I'm correct, to this day, it's pretty popular. At least the online gaming in GTA 5, it's crazy. Like they are still playing this game.
Yeah, it's still there's a new DLC that just came out like a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, like they're still putting DLCs out like multiple times a year with like multiple. Like they just added a new island you can go to, and yeah, so like they're legit still. I mean, it's their money cow. I mean, this will be the third generation of consoles that they put it on. So, yeah.
I have to be fair. I mean,
crazy.
It seems pretty funny because I saw the video from you where you just were on this racing track with your friends with these little cars. And
Yeah,
it's kind of cool and insane what you can do in this game.
Yeah, there's 1,000 game modes you can do, and most of them I don't even play. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, and I touch a tenth of it. So it's very well done. So yeah, and it's all like, that's kind of the nice thing, is it's all free. Like you don't have to pay for DLCs with them. Like that was always kind of a disappointment with like Ubisoft games, because like they have like the Division and stuff too. And like I loved the Division, but you can't get anything new once you play it.
No, yes.
You hit a max level, which you can do in like a month, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm done unless I want to buy a whole bunch of DLCs.
I still remember the first release video I saw about Division got me hyped so hard, but what really frustrated me was the downgrade. Man, at first it looks so glamorous, so beautiful, and then they're just downgrading it to hell.
Yeah, I mean, it's still decent. I mean, it was a fun game, but yeah, you could get through it real quick.
Yes,
and then it's like, okay, well, I guess we do the missions again. Not quite the same.
But what was, in all fairness, what was at least fun for me was playing. What was it called? Dark Zone. I think it was a Dark Zone. Yes, that was actually fun playing with some friends. That was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, a friend of mine used to work for the company that he didn't work for Ubisoft, but he was did some like game testing and stuff. But he did all the game testing for the Dark Zone, and so if there's still bugs in there to this day, it's because of him, because he was lazy and didn't do his job good enough. So, but yeah,
he didn't do his job right. I see.
Yeah, so any bugs in Ubisoft games is because of him.
That guy.
And he's been on this podcast, so he.
Sorry, I never said anything.
So, Steven, I'm looking at you. Yeah, he doesn't do that anymore. He actually works for the same company I work for now, but yeah, he back 10 years ago or whatever. Yeah, he worked in game design and stuff, and he started actually. He did a little bit with Fortnite actually, but it was like the single player mode. He didn't do anything with the actual like online stuff. The single player where you're like you have to build a fort and like protect yourself from zombies or whatever. That was he worked on that. He worked on The Division and a couple other games. He had a big falling out because they left it. Like he got fired or something. I can't remember what happened. Like he got a disagreement with his boss, got fired, and then they left him out of the credits. So,
Oh,
so yeah, he's not going back to working for them. I can tell you that. I forget the name of like the studio he was working for, but yeah, not the way they go to go down. So
I'm
he is in
sorry,
credits
Stephen.
on some games, but not some of the ones he did work on. It's just kind of funny. All right, so yeah, the final question I have here is just, you know, like why, like I actually just saw somebody talk about this too, and it was kind of ironic. Is you know, like grown ass men playing video games. It's
That's
like,
true.
why is that still a thing? And so why as a grown ass man do you still play video games? And like, what's your love and obsession with them?
Uh, I guess you already said it because it's just an obsession. I don't know. I grew up with playing games. Still love playing games to this day. Still, it would be my dream to do something for a living, just playing games or stuff like that. That would be insanely cool. But I don't know. I mean, when I was little, I still played outside a lot of times, but then with time, I don't know, something just changed because I guess it's just it's hard to explain. I guess it's just let me think about it for a second. Um, I guess it's just the cool part that you just have so much fantasy in there. And I mean, as a child, I mean, you have some kind of an imagination, but not
Mm-hmm.
that kind of. And it's so much fun to see all those different words and play these different characters, and it's such a blast. And I mean, you still don't have to play alone. I mean,
Right.
today you can play online, you can play local together, and just having fun together. I mean, for example, on Christmas, I played with my mother, my brother, and my girlfriend Mario Kart, and it was a
Yes.
blast. We played it for hours, and it was so much fun. And that's just the thing about. I guess it's just some kind of happiness, and not always because I sometimes I get mad when I'm playing Apex, unfortunately.
Yeah, everybody
But
does.
it's still, it's maybe it's already some kind of addiction, to be honest. But I don't know. It's I guess I would miss something in my life if I couldn't play anymore. That was just, it would sadden my life just a tiny little bit.
Yeah, I think you said that really well. I actually have like one moment in time that like I always think about when somebody asks me like why video games, and there's something I always go back to. Um, but yeah, I mean, like you said, it's like it's almost like an obsession or an addiction, and like you kind of think about it as like, well, I could be out drinking or doing drugs or partying or, you know, picking up hookers or something like that. But instead of like, I'm at home playing video games, like what am I hurting and harming and stuff? And it is fun. And like you said, it was like, as a kid, like I grew up with video games. Like I got the original Game Boy, had the original NES
Yes.
and SNES, and they were so fun. And then like being able to, you know, of at least somebody like people who are not old but older, like we kind of got to see the development, like, you know, go back and playing like the original Mario and realize like now like it's nostalgic and fun, but like it's kind of a shit game to be honest. It's like when you go back and think about like platformers are kind of boring. Like, you know, nowadays where you can do anything and everything in video
Yes.
games. Um, but around that time, so do you remember the game Fable?
Yes, but I never played it, to be honest.
Okay, so yeah, there was Fable 2, Fable 3, and I think there's a new one about to come out. Um, so I was, so this was probably about the time of like the first gen of like Xbox and PlayStation
Mhm.
2, like those kind of coming out. There I read a like an article in like a gaming magazine that was about Fable, and at the time it was called Project Ego, but they ended up renaming it. And but it talked about like this was going to be the first game where everything you do changes the outcome of everything, and so it was like this like whole next generation of like games. And to me, I like that was like a moment of like, oh my god, like they can do this now in video games where like I can kill an NPC and that affects me. So now people hate me. And or like I can give NPCs money and now the whole village loves me and all the ladies want to marry me and all this stuff. And it's like, so it was one of the coolest things. And so it was like also going to be one of these, like the first like big open world game. Fable 1 wasn't quite that. It got closed in a little bit more, but then Fable 2 was kind of what they predicted it was going to be. So that was kind of one of those first real games where everything you do has a legit impact on the rest of the game and what happens. And just reading that art, and it was like a year or two before the game came out, and it was like that was like a realization, like, oh my God, there's so much future in video games. And now we're looking at like all the VR stuff that's possible.
Yes.
And like, it's going to be a matter of like 5 to 10 years before there's no controllers and keyboards and mice and stuff. It's just all going to be VR, and we do everything with our minds anyway. So Elon Musk will have us, have chips implanted into our brains where to play whatever video game we want anyway. So
I don't know. I just thought about it also again, and I just tried to make this comparison between movies. I mean, it's the same question. Why do we like or watch movies? It's just to have a good time, enjoy it, and I don't know, to see or experience some kind of an adventure. And I think that's just the thing about games, just living things that are not supposed to be in real. Or it's hard for me to explain this, but it's just to experience stuff that is just out of this world, just to have a fun time.
Yeah, to me, it's I think the biggest thing for me is just it's like a stress reliever. Like I have a very like stressful job and stuff. So being able to a few times a week of just being able to check out for like 4 or 5 hours and then just do nothing but focus on video games and just have a good time. Like to me, that's like it's kind of really important. It's just therapeutic, I guess is a good word for it. It's therapeutic. Although if I'm having a really bad time, like I'll have a 2 or 3 hour Apex session where I'm like, I'm just frustrated. Like 7 straight games with no kills or something. It's like, oh my God, like why am I playing this? Where's the uninstall button? I hit that every once in a while, but it happens in every game. Oh well. All right. Well, anything else then about that? Any other reasons?
I don't know.
Why you love games?
I mean, there has to be a reason why it is, if I'm correct, the biggest industry in the world, or the biggest entertainment industry.
I think so. Yeah.
So I mean, there has to be a reason behind it.
I know, like GTA 5 is the biggest entertainment game thing, the biggest entertainment thing of all time. Oh. So it's made more money than every movie, song, everything ever done. So video games make money.
Yes, I mean, it always surprised me, at least when I go in a shop or some kind of a supermarket. How do you call electric stores?
Like an electronic store.
Oh yeah. And there are games, and they have something like the top 10 games.
Yeah.
And I'm always surprised GTA is always on there. Always.
Yeah. If you go like online to like marketplaces and stuff, it's always the top 10. It has since 2012 or 20. Yeah. So it's almost a decade in. It's still a top 10 game.
It's crazy.
Yep. Pretty insane. I think the reason why is because it's such a popular game. It's big, it's massive, but then every day more kids are turning 13.
True story.
I think that might be why, because I'm sure it's like a rated mature game, because there's nudity and stuff in it. So So I'm guessing every day new kids are turning teenagers and they're going out and buying it. So that's probably why.
I guess maybe just to add this still to GTA 5, if it's okay. Yeah. I guess one point, maybe that's why I never played this game. At first, it kind of discouraged me, because all the people overhyped this game, or at least in my opinion, overhyped this game so much. Everybody posted a picture. Here, I got it too, and wow, am I playing it now too? And I was like, boys, chill out, man. Come on, it's just GTA.
Right.
And then I guess it's just the point that all the people who also, at least who I know, who are not really gamers, bought this and were like, yeah, I have it too. I'm a gamer now too. And then I just thought, no, you're not a gamer. Stop it, man. And then but I guess it's also just to get a little bit further. That's the thing which changed in the last 20 years. It's crazy that at least when I was still a teenager, I still hate stuff like playing World of Warcraft, because kids would have mocked me, or teenagers would have mocked me if they had knew that that I'm playing World of Warcraft back then. So, I mean, it's just funny how all this stuff changed, and now it's just accepted, or sometimes even appreciated if you're a gamer.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, like probably just in the last 10 years, it's kind of become like almost not like a respected field, but like an understood field.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like
good time to live.
If you tell people, if you tell people like, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, I play video games. Like, okay,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 20 years ago, they've been like, the hell? Like, you live in your mom's basement?
Yes.
Like the fact that people are millionaires now, that it's like, oh yeah, I play video games, and here's my Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like, what?
What? I wish I could go back in time and tell my 50-year-old self it gets better.
Yeah. I wish I kind of would have started things a little sooner and taken it a little more serious. Because like my start to YouTube was rough. And shout out to anybody back then who was trying to record. Oh my God. Like cheap Elgatos, and I was recording on a laptop that was really bad. It was not a fun time. And I kid you not, so this will be an embarrassing story. Is there was a couple of videos where my own personal audio, and I still have audio issues and stuff because multiple reasons, but
we all do.
my audio personally was so bad that there would be times where I'd put out a video. I don't know if I still have them. I probably privatized a lot of them, where I recorded my own voice after I had the video. Like, it was just so bad. I'm like, I gotta just record audio of like, what did I say when this happened? I recorded this. Like, it was that bad. Like, I did it probably 2 or 3 times where I'm like, I had to put in additional audio. It was
wait,
not
there's
good.
an enemy. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just sitting there on like Audacity, just recording things I would have said, little clips, and putting them in. So yeah, that's where I started. Was doing that stuff.
You have to give me this link. This sounds hilarious.
No, it's privatized. I accidentally deleted it. I mean,
accidentally.
I think it's still. I know one still exists, and I don't even think it's privatized. It's an old GTA video. It's probably like one of my 5th or 6th ones out there. It's an old GTA video. I know is not privatized. But the others are probably privatized.
So do you have the same feeling? I think so, because at least when I'm watching old videos already of myself, I cringe out like hell. Like yes. Oh my God, what the hell am I doing?
Anything on my channel that's older than 2 years is not worth watching. You're more welcome to go back. It's kind of nice showing like how crappy stuff was at the start, and like, okay, yeah, it's progressively getting better and better and better, and but yeah, it is really bad. Not worth watching. Yeah. And like I was doing like a lot of like let's plays and stuff. Like I still do those. They're not quite as good. Plus I don't talk as much, like if it's just by myself. Like if I'm doing like a let's play, like I forget, like, oh, I've gone like 10 minutes without talking. I should probably say something.
I know the struggle.
Yeah, so that's my biggest. If I'm playing with somebody, it's not anywhere near as bad. But if I'm playing solo, like I have even like new stuff. Like I have new Apex videos where like I'm playing solo and I'm like, oh God, I haven't talked. Like I get so, and like I have to listen for like a lot of like serious audio cues. So like when I hear multiple sounds at once, like it just screws everything up for me. I'm like, well, I can't. Everything's muffled then. It's weird. So yeah, that's kind of partially the reason why I don't talk very much. When I'm playing like it's like a solo Apex video, it's like, oops, I didn't talk. Like I'll say something at the beginning, and then during the whole gameplay, I don't say anything, and then at the very end, I'm like, yeah, let's go. So embarrassing, but whatever. Like it's few and far between where I have a good game, so I got to post it anyway.
But I think it's the same struggle for me. At least at first, I had the same problem, and then I went to the thing where I just overcompensated, so I talked way too much, so that it wasn't really authentic anymore because it kind of sounded fake, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm still doing it sometimes, but I think I'm getting better. So, but it's always the struggle. And I talked to a friend a couple of days also ago, like you just said before, when you're talking to somebody else, it just feels way more natural, not so forced.
Yeah. I think I need to do that more, probably, is playing with other people. So like I do so much solo, and like usually like when I start playing Apex, like my friends are playing other things and then like trickle in, and then like my games usually go downhill. Like I very rarely win with friends. I don't know if you feel the same way. Like I get 99% of my wins with solo and with randoms. Probably because I don't feel like I need to like help or whatever, and that's probably one of those things. But
I really have the same problem, and I also have a friend who he watched my 20 kills 4K bomb video, and he then wrote me like, why the hell can't you play like this when we are playing together? And I'm like, I don't know. You're making me too nervous. I cannot tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, I had the same thing on like I think I had like a was it a crypto? It was either like a crypto when I hit a 2K with crypto, or a wraith. I can't remember which one. I posted that video, and one of my friends, it was like a 10 kill and like 2,500 damage wraith video, and I won it solo. I was like, my two teammates died and left at the beginning, and I ended up, just busting out in trios and having a really good game. And yeah, so he posted the same thing on there. I was like, why the hell does this not happen? It'd be impossible for me to get a 10 kill with a friend.
Yeah, but
I'm not happening.
But also so far, I avoided for a long time playing with other people, because actually almost nobody who is talking English or is speaking English natively. I only, to be honest, know only you. So the thing is, that was always a struggle for me, and I'm still struggling, as you can hear, with the language sometimes. I guess sometimes more, sometimes less, but it's still sometimes a really hard struggle for me. Struggle again.
No, but, I mean, I've told you this before. It's like I think you do like a really good job. I couldn't bust into like a German lobby and hope to communicate at all, other than by a ping. Right. To me, the only thing I would do is start. It seems very stereotypical and kind of racist. Is like just start quoting Hitler. That's like the only thing I could do. And if I were to do like a German accent, it would sound like Hitler. So it seems very inappropriate.
Like ich frage euch.
That's the only thing I could do. Very dirty sounding, like German, like very loud and obnoxious. That's the only thing I could do. And yeah, it sounds really bad and inappropriate to say, but if somebody's like, yeah, do a German accent, it's 99% of Americans would sound like Hitler. Because that's the only real experience they've had. It's like this Hitler, or they would fall in. What I would maybe fall into is probably like a little bit of Schwarzenegger. With him just being from Austria, it's close, so it would fall into like a little
Get to the chopper, man. No. Yes.
It would sound a little like
You can do this pretty good. Can you do
I can do a pretty good Schwarzenegger. I get to the chopper.
Yes.
Get down. Put the cookie down.
That's hilarious. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I do a good Schwarzenegger, but yeah, I would start with Hitler and then start going too much. Which I'm sure no German sounds like.
No, not really. Not at all.
Do you know any Germans that go? I mean, granted, like you said, he's from Austria, but anybody over there just make the Schwarzenegger sounds like when they talk?
I guess I actually don't. I'm not 100% sure how to how you say it in English, but Bavarian.
Okay,
it's called Bayern in English, so Bavarian, I think. So it's in the south, and they really have a thick accent, and they kind of sound like Arnold, but also not really. But I guess when they would speak English, it would kind of sound like that.
Okay.
Like oh yeah, yeah. I can't do it.
Where's Austria east of Germany?
It's in the southwest.
Southwest. So, okay, I was going the opposite. I was thinking it was like northeast. Okay.
Now it's getting hard. So if this is Germany, it would be okay. Now it's kind of something around here. If this is west, then it's something around there. I don't know. Yeah.
I was going the opposite direction. I was thinking it was like northeast, so it's at southwest. Okay.
Wait, I think I'm making a mistake. I think it's actually completely
geography with Kamiyo.
Yeah. Learning by doing. Do you
have a globe by chance?
That would be awesome. But no, so Austria's in the south, but Switzerland is in the southeast.
Okay.
No, southwest. Sorry.
Okay.
Switzerland, but Austria is direct under Germany. Yes.
Okay.
In the mountains, in the Alps.
Yeah, it's all those mountains down there, right?
Yes.
all the Swiss and stuff. Yeah, for sure. All right, very cool. Well, so to wrap up, I'm going to let you give a shout out to your own channel, and if there's anything you want to plug, upcoming videos, your channel, your Twitter, your whatever you want to, your MySpace, whatever you want.
MySpace. I think I had back then one MySpace site, but I'm not
did
so sure.
Too. Is MySpace is still a thing, right? Is that website still exist?
So. Maybe. Can I look it up quickly? Maybe MySpace.
So I'm also pretty sure you know Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
I think don't quote me. I'm pretty sure Justin Timberlake owns MySpace.
Oh, really?
I think so. MySpace. This is MySpace.com.
MySpace.
It's a thing.
Yes, it was a thing back then.
Looks like it's just an entertainment website now. Yeah, it's just all like entertainment. Weird. Who owns MySpace? I'm 90% sure it's Justin Timberlake.
Justin. But I mean, why would you want to own this?
I don't know. Key people. Yeah, Justin Timberlake. He's a part owner. He's not like a co-founder or anything like that, but yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah, Justin Timberlake is a partial owner of MySpace.
I mean, as we also saw in the movie, he also took part in Facebook.
True.
Well, or am I wrong? He was in a movie, right? In the Facebook movie, I think there was Justin Timberlake in the movie.
Like in the what was that called?
I don't. But
I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, he's in it.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to make a joke, but no, I explained it too much, so it's not a joke anymore.
Yeah, he owns all social media. I think he's going to try to buy Twitter here soon. So. Okay, so shout yourself out.
My name is Kamiyo. If you want to see videos with broken English, check out the channel YouTube. No, man, I'm messing it up, as you can see. Shout out to myself. I don't know. I'm just kidding around. So if you want to see maybe funny videos of Apex Legends or challenges, stupid videos of other games, check out the channel Kamiyo. That's me. Apparently. And yeah, there's really nothing that I can shout out right now. Thanks again for having me here.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
It's really appreciated. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I always watch this, not always, but most of the time, and it's always just fun to listen to you and to hear your opinion. But now it was even more fun to be able to just talk to you. So therefore, it's really appreciated for having me here.
So,
if I said it correctly, I don't know.
Yes.
Correct me if
you're
I'm
very
wrong.
welcome. I'm glad you could join. Yeah, and I'll put links to all Kamiyo stuff in the description on YouTube. This is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but there's no links there. So get over onto the YouTube channel and check out Kamiyo over there, and hit all of his links. And full disclosure, also, so I was talking to Kamiyo earlier today and said, yeah, it'll be about a half an hour, and we're like an hour and a half in.
Yes.
So obviously it ended up being a longer podcast, but it was a great discussion and always humorous. So again, thank you very much,
nice.
Kamiyo, for coming and hanging out. And
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, much better premiere than what my original idea was going to be. So so thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching, and talk to y'all later. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.